Shelby with North Country Offgrid.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Today is Thursday, and we're super excited that it's Thursday because that means that in 2 more weeks, our episode is going to air on the DIY channel of building our tiny house. 9 o'clock at night, DIY channel March 15th. So we wanted to let you guys know that. And then also, we had a super
eventful.
It was a really hard couple of days. This is our little Charlie Boo. We were given Charlie by Christy and Tim, who own
Lone Creek Farms
and
out of Alameda.
Yeah.
Alameda, Idaho. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not saying that right, let me know, but I believe it's Alameda.
But we were given her, I think Christy knew how hard of a time I had with losing our girl Coda. So Charlie has been the biggest blessing, and I cannot believe how much she has stolen my heart. So we went into town, and when we got back, Charlie wasn't home. Charlie
was missing.
And that led the next 3.5 days to just complete sadness and panic and putting out everywhere that she was missing. And we luckily had the description of the people that had picked her up because they were trying to find Charlie's home. So through that and through Facebook and through people knowing what they look like in the area, we were able to get Charlie back. And we couldn't be more thankful. We love this little booger so stinking much, and we were literally heartbroken, hardly functioning other than trying to get her back. So we have her back, and we're back on track, and everything just feels so good. So
and now she's been going everywhere with us. We ran around town yesterday, and she's in the car hanging out, so she's getting plenty of car time.
Ouch.
One thing that's really nice that I think that we would like to say is that the towns that we're in, we kind of have a couple little neighboring towns, but they're pretty small little cities, little towns. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, protect.
Get them, Char.
They're very small towns, so it's very easy to network and really reach out and branch out to all the people. And where we are, we don't have a ton of neighbors. So the reason we were actually able to find our dog was because somebody, like the description hit home. You're like, hey, that's so-and-so. I know them. It's their neighbor. The truck's the exact same. They sound the same, look the same. I know who that is. And that's how we got our dog back. So
the love and support that we got from the community in such a hard time for our family was overwhelming. I mean, there was a couple of negative comments, but other than that, like, we just got love and support. And so if any of you are watching, thank you, thank you, thank you. You definitely are what brought our puppy home, and trust us, we will not let the same thing ever happen again because she's not getting out of our sight. So anyways,
so to our small town, to all of our neighbors, our friends that helped out, thank you to all of you. It was just so cool. I think, you know, Shelby's phone just went crazy of people sharing and sharing and sharing. It had to have been shared over 100 sometimes.
Oh, I think it was like 400 times.
That's over 100, so that's pretty good.
It was really good. And I was just a hot mess the entire time, just bawling and crying, thinking what we could have done different and how we would have if we had the chance. And but thank you. We loved it, and we're so happy to have her back. We were offered extra money for the people that found her to keep her, and we said, sorry, you could offer us $1 million. We wouldn't take it. We love this pup.
This little one is easy to fall in love with. She's got a ton of personality and is very smart.
Yep, she's a sweet girl. And Christy and Tim, thank you so much. We love our baby.
And if you guys like this little critter, here, get it in the camera and look cute. If you guys like this little critter, she's half Great Pyrenees and half Malamute, mixed with Australian Shepherd. So kind of a weird mix, but super smart. We can see it already. She was pretty much potty trained in the first 2 weeks that we'd had her, which is pretty cool because I'm barely potty trained now. But if you guys like this kind of dog, if you're looking for something like her, easy. All attitude. All right. She's a bit of a princess. But if you guys are looking for a dog like this, get in contact with Lone Creek Farms. You can find them on Facebook. Check them out. Send them a message. Let them know that you want a little pretty thing like that. Super cool dog. Super smart. We're excited to see what role she plays out here on the farm.
And you guys named her, too, which is super fun. So, we were just a big old mess.
It was a community event all around. Your guys' dog went missing, too. And you did a great job of helping us find her. So, thank you so much.
So, just kind of talking about Charlie, our animals are huge to us. We have a farm, and every single one of them plays such an important role on our farm, and we love them all dearly. And so, one of the questions we've been asked a couple different times on here has been, what animals did you guys start off with? So we thought that we'd kind of share that with you guys.
So before we even moved off-grid, we knew we were going off-grid. I believe we had bought our place already. We bought our place while it was still snowed in, so we couldn't get there yet. But we said, hey, let's get started. Let's go buy some chicks. So we went with chickens first. And I think we went with chickens first for a couple reasons. For one, our family loves eggs. We eat a ton of eggs, and we thought, hey, when we get chickens, we're already cutting a bill, so we're cutting more expenses, which is great. It's kind of the point, figuring out how you can get rid of bills, and then substitute food, free food, sort of, right? Mm-hmm. So we got our chickens started, and also it was really easy to have chicks in our transition because we just kept them in a small tote. We went with a dozen. Mm-hmm. We went with a dozen even. We kept them in a small tote, kept them warm, fed them, grew them, and then by the time we got out to our first homestead, the very first thing that we built was a chicken run.
Yeah, you actually built the chicken coop at our old house before we had moved off-grid.
Oh, I was getting so stir-crazy and ready to go off-grid. I'm like, what can I start building now? So I started building a chicken coop in the garage, kind of a smaller one.
And
which was fun.
You built it all with free material.
Yeah, it was all scrap wood I was pulling off of jobs, stuff that just gets thrown in the mud, or when the boss isn't looking, you grab it and take it home.
Oh, well.
No, I'm kidding, none of that. It was all given to me. It was all okay for me to take. If not, you can have it back. It's over at the other property. But
I gotta censor this guy.
When we came out, you can't censor the people. When we came out to the other property, we built a chicken run around the coop, completely fenced it in to make sure that no predators got them. So we had, little pullets running around. They're all growing their feathers and starting to warm up, and
the weather was getting nicer, so they didn't need the heat lamp anymore. Yeah,
and it was all really tall grass, so they had tons to eat. They had tons of bugs out there. We used to have tons of. There was grasshoppers for like the first 3 months, and then nothing afterwards.
Chickens ate them all.
Yeah, they did great. So. And we got lucky. We got 1 rooster and 11 hens out of our dozen, which we thought, oh, that's great. And then we wound up having chicks later, and we had 5 chicks, and 4 of them were roosters. So we got lucky the first time.
I gotta say, too, our first rooster isn't with us anymore. Rest his heart.
He met his maker to a bale of hay. Unfortunately, I believe it rolled down on him and pinned him.
He did, but I always think it was so fun because I just feel so clever. I named our first rooster Hugh Hefner because he had 11 girlfriends. So
he was an animal.
He shortly passed after the original Hugh Hefner, so God rest both their souls.
So it's an unlucky name. Don't name your rooster Hugh Hefner.
But it was fun. It was a fun story that I get to say probably one more time.
Well, with that, Shelby came up with a super clever name. Everyone we tell just laughs about it. If you guys have a clever rooster name, or just tell us what your rooster name was. Put it down in the comments so we can see what other kind of names people came up with. It's always funny. People sort of dislike their rooster, but they give them clever names.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I love naming all of our animals. It's been a fun thing to come up with all of it.
It is fun. So another great reason to get chickens is chickens are a great animal on the farm to make a little money with. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who want natural, organic chicken eggs. And our feed that we use for our chickens is all non-GMO grain, which a lot of people like. So you can ask a little more for your eggs if you're selling eggs. The cool thing about our situation is when we got our chickens, after 6 months, they begin to lay. And then they're up in full swing laying eggs. And you go out every day, take care of your chickens, they take care of you. You're trading them grain for breakfast. It's breakfast for breakfast. It's a real honest relationship with your chickens. Like, here's your breakfast, give me mine, don't peck me. So chickens are great to have. We'd go out, we'd get our eggs, eat our breakfast, you'll probably always have an abundance of eggs, and you can take a few cartons a month and sell them and supplement your grain bill for that month with chickens, which is huge. You're basically getting free breakfast as long as you eat eggs every day for breakfast.
Well, and if you're eating eggs too, this is just my little tidbit. It's kind of, if you look at a factory farm with lots of chickens, it's kind of scary, the life that these chickens are given. And it's actually really scary. And
we choose not to support it. That's why we have chickens. We can come out and just say that. We don't have to be bashful about it. No. We don't support the commercial chicken industry. We don't feel that they're taken well care of. And I feel like whatever they choose to give to their chickens and put in their chickens is what a group of people have decided is good for you to put in your body. But we're going to decide what is good for us to put in our body. We're going to be aware of what we give our chickens and what we feed our chickens and how our chickens are treated. So we control 100% of a breakfast that comes into our body.
Well, yeah, because you think about those poor chickens in those factories, and they're stressed out. So when you're eating those eggs, you're eating their stress hormones. And then they're also pumped full of all sorts of stuff that will make them produce faster at a younger age, more often, all of this stuff. So it's really scary, the stuff that you could be putting into your baby's mouths when all you're trying to do is give them a great breakfast.
And to add to that, Shelby gave you a snippet of information. If you're not aware of it, don't just take our word for it. Dig into it, because if you are passionate enough about going off and homesteading, you'll kind of dig into where your factory meat comes from now. And it's going to give you a ton of empowerment when you're deciding what your family's going to eat from this point forward. So don't take our word for it. Go check it out. Go look to see what they feed them. Go visit one and see how they feed them. Go in there and figure out if you're okay with the way they're taken care of. Most people, I'm sure, won't even let you onto their farm. I know that Idaho is trying to pass legislation to not allow people to come in and secretly farm dairy operations, at least, because of how much abuse has been caught on camera while undercover and then produced. And these guys don't want to get caught doing that, so they're trying to come up with legislation to prevent them from doing that. And the reason I know that is because I dig into this information. So I encourage you guys to also go and dig into that information.
So as for us and our farm, this was actually a huge reason as to why homesteading was something that I wanted to do, was to be able to grow our own food and have our babies understand where our food is coming from. And then also make a difference. Have our animals be very loved on, very well taken care of, have them have a very happy, healthy life, and in return they can give us a huge blessing as well. So
yep, there's a lot of benefits to having chickens, not just, breakfast for breakfast either. Chickens eat ticks like crazy. And we have never, in the 4 years we've been out here, we've never had a tick on us.
Oh gosh, knock on wood.
I know. But they keep down the bugs. Shelby hates spiders. And, according to Shelby, they're not doing their job 100%. Yep. But they keep all the little bugs down around your property quite a bit. So. And
for me, because we don't have a ton of entertainment out here as far as TV and things like that go. So if we're bored, I love just going outside and watching our animals. They bring so much joy to us. So I just love them. Farm animals are awesome.
It is cool to go and look and just see how each animal sort of, they operate in their own little world. And then when they mix in, it's fun to watch them sort of mix in, when the chickens mix in with the goats and it's the whole little world you get to watch, and it's pretty cool.
Yep, and our kids will chase them around and have fun, which I always am like, don't stress my chickens out.
Just in case you don't know, if you stress out chickens, they won't lay eggs.
That's
true.
True.
Don't let people's dogs come over and chase them. Don't let your dogs chase them. Don't let your kids be too rough on them. Our kids play with our chickens quite a bit, and they still produce eggs. But
in a very fun, sweet, loving way. It's not like, we're going to find them and be mean to them.
They handle them and play with them and then, put them down and let them go.
Yeah.
So it's a good trade-off. And also, if you don't know the difference, we were wowed when we saw it. Go get a store-bought egg. Find someone who has a organic chicken egg right off the farm. We could do this.
We'll do this for you.
We'll show you guys.
We'll show you.
It's amazing. We had no idea. We felt lied to.
Yeah,
it was like, I had no idea.
Is huge, yeah.
Shelby and I didn't grow up on farms. We grew up buying our eggs from the store too. Yep. We were very aware of where farms or where eggs come from. But we had no idea the difference. So that we'll show you guys that.
Yep. Perfect.
Oh, so how did we choose our chickens? Why did we choose the chickens we chose? One thing that Shelby and I always do, mostly me, it's probably just a weird habit, but anytime we're going to get something, I start hitting the books. I figure out everything I can about the animal, what can go wrong, what can go right, what benefit they are. I like to get into the history of where they came from. That's kind of a big point. So with history being a big part of the animals that we choose, the heritage, if you will, with farming, there's a lot of heritage. A lot of animals come long distances, long bloodlines down, and those bloodlines are carried on and carried through registries. And just getting into farming, we decided, hey, let's go with heritage breed animals, you know, kind of getting back to our roots and the roots of where these animals came from.
Well, and especially because we were living off-grid. We are living off-grid. But when we were getting our chickens, we were thinking, okay, we're going to be off-grid. So these animals need to be hardy. And when you think about that, now a lot of the common day farms will have heat lamps and such. And so there's folks out there that will say, oh, your chickens need heat lamps. Well, when you think about how the pioneers back in the olden days had chickens, they didn't have electricity and they didn't have heat lamps, and their chickens made it.
Yep.
So to go back to the heritage breed meant that our chickens had a good chance of surviving.
They're a hardy bloodline. They've proven that. They're still here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things too that we've learned that is that if you get enough chickens, you know, if you had 3 or 4, I don't know if it'd be enough, but with enough chickens, when they're inside their coop in the wintertime, they poop. And all that poop produces a compost at the bottom, and it produces a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually gone out there at times, and the way our coop was designed, it had basically top vents along the ridge, but we put plastic up there. We put plastic up there to seal it off in the wintertime. We noticed moisture forming on the inside, so we actually wound up taking them down. The chickens were producing so much heat. They were causing condensation. And we have not lost, I think we've lost 1 chicken. In the 4 years that we've had chickens, I think we've lost 1 chicken to weather.
Yeah.
Though that chicken that we lost, we also bought from somebody else as an adult chicken. It was already an egg layer. So we weren't responsible for bringing it up. We don't know if it was used or if heat lamps were used to raise it or what, but we only lost 1 chicken.
I think that kind of leads into when you live off grid, you're very in tune with the weather. You pick up on small things that are going to help you understand what the weather is going to do. And so us as humans are picking up on that, but really the animals even pick up on it. So God has designed these amazing animals to grow more feathers, to hardy themselves up for the weather that's coming. It's not like we go from summer to straight winter. We have this slow process of how we leave the heat and get to the cold.
Yeah.
And our animals,
you get acclimated. You're slowly acclimated to the weather, and we notice it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, we're only, I bet we probably stay 20 to 30, maybe 40 degrees off of the outside temperature. So instead of us walking in from 20-degree weather, you know, we come into the cabin, it might be 40, 50 degrees. Whereas if you have your house being heated by heat, like in town, you know, you'll walk in from 20-degree weather to 85 or 80 or 75, whatever your comfortable temperature is, and your body doesn't get acclimated to it, and it's going from these extremes of very cold to very hot. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's a big reason why a lot of people get so sick in the wintertime is because they're going from these extremes in and out of the cold into the heat. And there's got to be a little bit of validity to that because we're never sick.
Right. Since we've lived off grid, we're hardly ever sick. And I think that that's important for us to kind of share too, is that if you guys do have chickens and if you do live in town, don't go straight from, oh, they've had heat lamps to this winter, they're not going to have heat lamps. It's something that definitely they have to build their body up to.
I think you could do it over the season.
Over the season, I do too.
Just don't do it in the wintertime. If they're, you know, if you buy them from someone who's got them on heat lamps and then you want to put them into no heat lamp, I would assume there's probably a good chance of them dying.
Right.
Because they need to ease into that weather change.
So it's cool how you kind of gradually get prepared for the weather naturally.
Yep.
Because I think that even for us as humans with this weather, during the summertime we love the heat, but I feel like we have this overwhelming feeling of winter is coming and we've got to cut our firewood. We've got to do things to prepare to stay warm during the winter time.
And you certainly mentally prepare. Like for us, we have to mentally prepare for the weather, and we know that hardships come with the harsher climates. So, you know, there's a mental preparation that goes on when you're homesteading. Like you are aware of the work that's going to happen. You're aware of the work that you need to do to provide the heat for the entire year. So, you know, if you take that for granted, whereas you just, you know, pull into your house and then it's just a, you know, an ordinary day after work. You just go in the garage, go inside, live your life, come back out, blah, blah, blah. You know, a lot of people dislike the winter, but they don't necessarily have to mentally prepare for that cold weather.
Yeah. Well, and I saw a great little tip the other day was tell your kids to go outside and play even in the rain or even in the snow, because you're teaching them that the only good days are the sunny days, when really you can make any day a great day. You just have to appreciate the weather and go with it rather than thinking that you can control it by being upset with it.
With that being said, I hate rainy days. I hate working in rainy days. I've made a living working in rainy, sleety days. I've had icicles growing off of my face. I know. So I'm kind of a baby about it, but...
And I kind of love the rainy days because that's like God's day of taking a break. Like there's a lot of things that we can't do in the rain. So that just means light some candles
rain
in
is
here,
always
make
a
it
blessing,
nice,
too.
Like, yeah, just relax, read a good book. Like, it's all about your mental attitude.
Yeah.
And even with... like cutting our firewood, like we don't pay for our heat bill, but we do pay for the sweat equity and the work that we put into heating our house. So it doesn't come out of your pocket, but you still are paying for it with your hard work. So
for us to get, you know, pay for our heat for the year, you know, you're talking about a couple gas cans worth of fuel. And then, you know, the effort of going out and doing it, you know, but I would almost say that I would bet at least in 2 days time of being out in the woods, I could provide a heat bill for our family for the entire year. And that would probably only cost me maybe $20 in gas and then saw maintenance, you know, and then my time being out there. So, $20.
You don't pay out of your pocket, but you pay with your sweat equity.
And maybe we'll put that to the test in the future.
It definitely didn't come free. There was something that we had to pay for. It just wasn't in a dollar value.
We'll probably, I'll tell you right now, we'll commit to it. We'll do a video in the future and we'll see how long it takes me to cut the year's supply of firewood, which I think is only going to be 2-3 cords.
Not putting a bet on it this time.
I'll bet you.
No, I'm not going to cut all that by myself.
It would be a pretty good bet because I'm not sure how long it'll take me. But we'll say that I'll go out and see how much I can get done in a day. We'll try to do it in like 24 hours, you know, a work day. We'll do it in a work day, and then we'll calculate the cost. So we'll do a full can of gas, oil, lube for the saw, you know, that sort of thing. But we'll figure it out, and I bet it'll cost under $50.
I like it. No.
No bet?
No bet here. Well, we just wanted to give you guys a quick little update of what we've got going on. We're super excited for our episode to be on the DIY channel. We haven't been able to show you guys the tiny house. So as soon as they do, then I plan on doing a video of showing you guys how we live in this tiny house as a family of 5. So,
and we don't get to watch it. So when you guys see it, let us know what you think. Let us know what you saw, because we have no idea what they're using footage-wise. They filmed so much stuff of us. We said so many things, and so we always just kind of sit here and like, I wonder what we're going to look like. So
that's why we kind of love doing YouTube, because we are more in control of the content that we're putting out, whereas there, like, we know what happened, but we don't know how they put it together or anything. So, and we've just kind of decided, we've been invited to people's houses to watch it, but we've just kind of decided that we don't want to watch it for the first time with anybody else. So you guys are going to see it before we do, so you got to tell us how it is.
Break it to us easy.
But we're excited that you guys finally get to see that, because we have so much more that we get to do as soon as that's out there. And then if you don't have the DIY channel, I know the next day the episode will be available for purchase and download. And then in the coming months, they'll have it on HGTV, which doesn't have the air date yet, but it will be on there as well. So that's exciting. We've got that coming up in 2 weeks, and then our puppy is back home, and I just feel like we feel so much more as a whole family. I think for those 3.5 days, we just felt lost and broken, and now we feel whole. So, yeah. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for coming along today. We've got some more chores. We got to figure out how to get some more hay today, so we're off to get some more hay.
We've got buddies coming actually to pull my truck out. My truck was snowed in and then iced in. The tires are stuck
on flat ground.
I managed to get chains on them, and it's still just sitting there spinning. So cue the Ford jokes. I agree with you, but it's just what we've got. But anyway, so we've got some buddies coming to pull we have to pull the truck a foot. 1 foot forward and we're unstuck.
We're good to go.
It's
we're
ridiculous.
Off to get hay. So farm chores ahead. So we will chat at you guys later. Thanks so much for following along. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so you know when we're coming out.
Ooh.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. Oh, I wanted to add this in as a little snippet.
You want to just start it as another little segment that you can add in?
Nope, I'm just going to add it at the end. Yep, this is my little ending. So while Charlie was missing, we were just a mess, right? So I just wanted to say that a boring day is actually such a blessing. If you're having a boring day, it most likely means that all is right in your world and it's boring. So instead of having it be a boring day, make it a great day, because what a blessing that is. So just wanted to leave that with my last little tidbit of hope you have a great day.
Words of wisdom from Shelby on the North Country farm.
I'm so cheesy. Thanks, guys. Bye.